Welcome to Pod Watcher, the official podcast of Watcher Entertainment. I'm Ryan Bergara.
I'm Shane Madej.
And I'm Stephen Lim.
And this is a show where we chat about whatever's on our minds every week. This week we dive into Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Apes.
And photos. And I have a sense I'm not going to be saying much this episode.
No, you're gonna have
Photos is a very
photos, but your
wide-ranging topic.
I don't know about how much to say about apes. Haven't seen any of them.
You've never seen an ape?
Nope.
We haven't established it was about the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. And then I don't even know who
Ed and Lorraine Warren are?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
That's unfortunate. Before we get into this episode, go ahead and like and subscribe if you're watching over on youtube.com/watcherpodcasts, or subscribe and rate the podcast 5 stars if you're listening to this bad boy. And hey, tell a friend. It does help keep this show alive.
Wait, Matt, when is it coming out?
This is coming out Monday the 19th.
Okay, great. So Mystery Files episode 1's coming out on Friday. And if you, just a little tip, watch to the end. Watch the very end.
Ooh.
That's a good point.
A little fun little nugget there. I'll drop.
One of Stevie's nuggets.
Also, watch this to the end and then watch it 4 more times.
That's a really nice thought
Yeah.
to say those sort of things.
We don't normally ever say that. We've never said that here at Watcher on any of our content, and wonder why it's hard to gain subscribers. I think it's because all 3 of us have such a unique aversion to just saying the phrase like and subscribe. It's kind of satirized at this
It's
point.
not even that. It's just like the idea of self-promotion, the idea of
it just
having
kinda
somebody
makes me
do
feel
something
icky.
for you. I don't like that.
But then I often am watching YouTube videos of like creators that I like, and they'll be like, hey, if you like the video, go ahead and drop this. They'll say it in the beginning, and I'm always like, oh yeah, I should do that. And I like and subscribe.
It also does speak to our work ethic a little bit, because I know both of you guys, especially, do not like to ask other people for help.
That is true.
It's, puppet history. We don't need to go there, but this man does everything himself. Or in the first season,
that's
he did.
not true. Well, in the first, no, we had a lot of editors on the first season, and
Yes, but you also are a tinkerer at heart, so you would take episodes, you would
I'll tinker till the cows come home.
He's a tinker guy.
And then we know Ryan. The man will only ask for help if he's drowned, not if he's drowning.
you won't
if he's
even hear it.
drowned.
It'll just be fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm very upset.
Sometimes he'll drag people down with him.
That's right. As many as I can, ideally.
That's why you got to use a pole.
To get me out?
Yeah, if someone's drowning, you're supposed to reach a pole out. Or you're not supposed to dive in and try to drag them out.
Yeah, because how you wouldn't even toss them out.
They'll pull you down.
Yeah.
That's a tip.
Oh.
How many people have you seen die that way?
A lot.
That's what it sounds. I saw it in your eyes.
Is that how you help somebody from quicksand too?
I would guess so. Quicksand that's wild. Huh?
Quicksand is fucking scary.
No, it's not how you help people from quicksand.
Okay, what do you do when
Bad practice.
Throw out like
to
a
suggest.
board or something.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to put the stick or whatever on your back and
Is that
flatten
so?
out because the surface area. You need the surface area, a wider surface area, so you don't sink as much.
I've been.
It's like a pencil into water, or like like a board.
It's like oobleck.
Wait, so you put a board on your back?
Well, if you had a board or a stick, you're supposed to like lay on your back,
Similar to like snowshoes.
doing
Wider
like snowshoes,
surface,
exactly.
So it's
You
not
sink,
gonna
yeah.
a pencil in quicksand. That's gonna go right in.
Oh yeah.
Or like if you drop
Like a pencil dive.
If you drop like a pencil in water, obviously it goes straight in, right?
Right.
But if it falls on the side,
Or if I dive into water looking like a pencil, which I'm really good at.
or like
I'm really good at
a
my
belly
pencil
flop,
dives.
it obviously stops.
I could do them from very high too.
These are the things that they
I've
should be
done them
teaching
from
in
about 30
school.
I
Once.
Don't know about that.
I was about 30 feet in high school. It was one of the high dive. I did a pencil dive. It was pretty sweet.
with the earthquake that we had
A lot of
this
folks said
week.
it was
Did you
good.
guys feel that?
I did.
Nice little shake.
Big shake.
It was only little where I was.
Big for me.
Out on the east side.
Is
It
it
was
because you're a
long.
big guy?
A long
You're a
shake.
big guy.
Hit that little.
I was back on my my little wormhole of reading about liquefaction, ground liquefaction.
What?
What is that?
This is the
It's a
first you've
fascinating
mentioned it.
thing. Matt's shaking. Are you nodding, Matt? Are you
No,
into
I was trying to move a bag
liquefaction?
of Chex Mix without making noise.
Yeah. There's this thing that happens. So like, let's say you've got sand, right?
Yeah.
Sand on a beach.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about. This is the dune worm.
Yeah, essentially. Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So sand on a beach, right? You're walking on the beach. You walk on the sand. You're not sinking into the sand.
Uh-huh.
But when there's a vibration or a shake, it essentially makes it like pliable. in a way that like you can then that it almost like quicksand.
Yeah.
So the ground itself almost becomes like liquid. And in certain earthquakes that it can like turn solid ground into what is essentially has like liquid characteristics, which is very scary.
Is that so it's like making it vibrate at a certain frequency?
Not even a certain frequency. Let me show you something.
There's a certain level, and it's the basis for the dune worm being able to kind of do this vibration, and it makes the space around them a little bit more liquid, and they slither on through.
Interesting.
But there's a great video of a guy.
So you're telling me if I vibrate enough, I could fall right through this floor.
Don't do it.
Yes, exactly. That's how the flash gets through the walls.
Okay, watch
I don't
this.
think that's actually true.
Watch this. This is okay. So this is a guy stomping on sand. It was solid sand at first, and he's just stomping on it. He's putting a stick in the sand and he's wiggling it around. And he's wiggling. Now he's stomping a little.
If I watched this from afar, I'd be like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Look at him go.
This guy's a psychopath. And then he would disappear into the ground like Michael Jackson on the Thriller tour.
I watched this one night really late when we were on the road for Ghost Files. I was just in my hotel watching this at like 2 a.m.
Is that why you were so tired the next day?
Yes. So now look at this.
Whoa!
Look at this.
Whoa,
So the
dude.
ground is now turning
Dude, he's like fucking the ground.
essentially.
Okay, why do you got to go there, Ryan?
Because it looks like he's fucking
But
the
look how
ground.
dramatic this gets. So it's becoming like
He's lost his mind.
So you can
Oh
then
my
sink in it.
gosh!
This is just one man. So imagine an entire earthquake doing this. There's videos online of just buildings just moving like they're like moving through a river because the ground just turns into. Anyway, that's what.
Do you think if we had all of the employees here at Watcher and we all stomped at a certain rate, we could go right through the floor?
That's a great question.
I'd love to try it.
Yeah, we can try that sometime. I don't think it has anything to do with
Sounds
it.
like
It's
a Mystery
great.
Files episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sweet.
The old adage, you are what you eat, rings very true to all of us in the modern day. And for some of us, that may be worrying, but Mosh is here to help in more ways than one. Mosh is a company founded by Maria Shriver and her son Patrick Schwarzenegger with a simple mission: to create a conversation about brain health through food, education, and research. Maria's father suffered from Alzheimer's, and since then, she and Patrick have dedicated themselves to finding ways to help other families dealing with this debilitating disease. Mosh joined forces with the world's top scientists and functional nutritionists to go beyond your average protein bar. With 6 delicious flavors, each Mosh bar has 12 grams of protein and is made with ingredients that support brain health like ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, and omega-3s. They also have a line of plant-based protein bars in 3 delicious flavors. But here's the best part to make you feel good. Mosh donates a portion of all proceeds from your order to fund gender-based brain health research through the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. Why gender-based? Well, 2/3 of all Alzheimer patients are women. Mosh is working closely to close the gap between women and men's health research. If you want to find ways to give back to others and fuel your body and your brain, Mosh bars are the perfect choice for you. Head to moshlife.com/watcher to save 20% off plus free shipping on either the Best Sellers trial pack or the new plant-based trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on either the Best Sellers or plant-based trial pack at moshlife.com/watcher. Thank you, Mosh, for sponsoring this episode. Thank you, Mosh. That was a fun earthquake, though.
Yeah, it was nice.
No earthquake to me is fun.
I like it in the way that I like a tornado. Or a
You're
good
obsessed with
thunderstorm,
tornadoes, yeah.
or the nice smell of
But
a skunk.
isn't like the earthquake happening some sort of science behind more earthquakes happening? Like the shifting of that, the banging of the plates, and then that like causes more. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
making this up, but like
I'm not a seismologist. Over
but
here.
it's scary. it's you know.
It's just the devil, man.
It's the devil.
We're making too much ruckus up here on
Ryan
Earth,
and
and he's
I-
just hitting the
We
broomstick
know
on
it's
the bottom.
devil. He's
just
trying
being
to get
like,
to
"Hey,
us
dude,
for all of our crimes."
People make
pipe
fun
down
of
up there."
in Ohio. People say it's boring, but we don't have earthquakes there. That's great.
Are you suggesting that Ohio is even like a flyover state for God? He doesn't even care. He's not like, I'm not going to even fuck with my tornadoes at these people. I'm not going to give them any earthquakes. Because that's
Well,
just God
I
having
want-
fun, right?
I want you to understand, like when people say Ohio's boring, they're not saying there's no tornadoes there.
Oh yeah, I know.
They're talking about a lot of other things.
But I'm just saying that you can go take a further step and say, hey,
and I have family in Ohio, so I can say
You
this.
do?
Yeah,
I never knew that about you.
it's where when my ancestors came to the United States of America, a lot of them stopped there and there's a contingent of them over there, and then a few of
Okay.
them kept on going over to Illinois.
Do you mind revealing what city they're in, or is that too personal?
I'm not sure where they still all live. A lot of them lived in Barberton, Ohio, which I shouted out when we did the live show there. It's outside of Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Near Cleveland. I'm not familiar with the northeast side of Ohio.
Did they test tornado sirens?
Yeah, all the time.
First Tuesday of the month in Illinois.
Same,
Yeah, for
same
you
in
too?
Kentucky, yeah.
I love it. First Tuesday of the month, 10 a.m. Sirens going off.
Well, we just do that for earthquake drills.
Yeah.
It just
There's
occurred
no
to me.
sirens for earthquakes though, because they're just like fuck.
No, it's just kind of like
No.
under a table.
Tornadoes, you're like, here she comes.
Yeah. Well,
Hit the button.
it just occurred to me. I had just had an epiphany. I think I never put it together, but the reason why Shakey's Pizza Parlor is called that is because it's basically a California pizza chain.
Is that the etymology of
No.
the
It has to be because all but two.
What do you mean it has to be?
All but two locations of Shakey's are in California.
This is why we have Matt on the podcast.
it has to be.
Why does it have
doesn't
to be?
have
Because
to
we're
be.
Shakers over here in California. We're always getting the earthquakes.
What if it was founded by like Bill Shakeford or
There
something?
actually is a diner.
Shakey's Pizza was founded in Sacramento, California by Sherwood, quote, Shaky Johnson
There you go.
and Ed
A
Plummer.
dude nicknamed Shake.
I like it. I like my version better.
Maybe he like.
I think there was a diner called Shakers that has to be also an earthquake kind of nod.
Is that what
Oh,
they do
I
there?
mean, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, it's not that kind of diner. You go here in the daylight. There's
Yeah.
lots of windows.
Yeah.
It's where they filmed that one scene from where's that? Role Models. When Ken Jeong has he's the king.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's
that
where
looked like a nice diner.
It's a good diner.
Where
I don't
is
think
it?
it's around anymore.
Oh,
Shakers or I think it's called Shakers.
Shakers is still around in South Pasadena.
I'd love a milkshake.
Maybe that's why it's called Shakey's.
I haven't had a milkshake in years.
Dude, I was thinking about milkshakes the other day. And
Yeah,
I
what
was
were
like,
you
I gotta
thinking?
get my lips on one of those bad boys.
Yeah, I don't have them now. I think nowadays when I'm in the mood for a milkshake, which is often, I generally don't have them. But if
Yeah.
I'm gonna have something on that
I'm
bar,
glad you ignore that impulse most of the time. then.
yeah, it's gonna be a root beer float.
Is that really a milkshake?
No, I'm saying it's on a par. With
Oh,
it,
on a
though.
par. Okay.
Mm.
yeah.
It's a glass full of milk, ice cream and carbonated, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like sugar in a cup.
Well,
which
we
is
had
what
that
I-
obsession with them during the Ghost Files tour. I don't remember who it was. It was either you or
and we
I
never got one.
had mentioned offhand.
We were like, I would love a milkshake.
No,
Or,
I was
sorry,
like,
a root
a
beer
root beer
float.
float.
Yeah.
You know what it was? We were walking down, I think it was in Portland, and there was that cute little, it looked like a soda fountain, but it was really just a pharmacy.
Oh, we walked in and we were like, "Hey, do you guys have root beer floats?"
And they were like, no, we have a bar. And we were
God
like,
damn it!
we just walked out.
It actually all started because when we were in Kansas City and we went to Town Topic Burger,
Town Topic Smash Burger, I believe.
and I was so excited for a root beer float.
Did they
and
have
then-
one?
No, they were out.
Oh, that sucks.
How you gotta be out with a
You got
burger?
float opinions, Steven?
They're fine. I don't crave them like you guys do.
I crave them a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I do like the Neapolitan at In-N-Out.
That's a good shake. They got it. That's a good
It's a good
milkshake.
one, right?
I feel like the best
How
milkshakes
do they-
I've had are usually at diners, though. I think it's the part of the environment plays into it.
How do they do a Neapolitan? Is it like layers?
No, I think you just
It's all
mix it
mixed
up.
together.
You
Yeah,
mix it all?
strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Yeah.
What does that taste like?
Delicious.
It's good.
Huh.
Maybe I like it because it's a secret menu item, and it's like when you go to LA for the first time, they're like, "You got to get the animal style fries and
I
get
do.
the Neapolitan shake."
If
You
I'm
can't get it
feeling
on the
crazy,
menu."
I will get those animal style fries. Oh, they're so good.
I remember when I
They're so
visited
good.
LA when my brother first moved out here, and he was living in Westwood, and we went to In-N-Out like every day
Yeah.
for a week and a half.
Yeah, the In-N-Out's nice. That's a good In-N-Out, too.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
It's got nice. I mean, at the time, the vibes were fun because I was very young and it was
Yeah.
like a sloppy college In-N-Out.
Yeah.
It's very close to
Is it
UCLA.
faster to go inside and order your In-N-Out or go through the drive-through?
It's-
I've always
Mm.
struggled with this.
They
depends.
prioritize the drive-through. Some locations differ on that, but like for the most part, In-N-Out prioritizes the
So
drive-through.
it's faster for me to wait in line 20 minutes at the drive-through than go in and put my order in at the
Ye-
cashier.
Yes,
And you can listen to a nice
Wow.
podcast.
exactly. And you don't have to sit in the In-N-Out atmosphere where like people are fighting over tables and stuff. You just sit in your car, you, like you said, listen to some music.
I do love people watching In-N-Out though.
Yeah.
It's fun because it's one of those places that everybody goes to.
Anyways, why don't we get into one of these topics? Should we start?
Let's sandwich me. I'll go second.
All right, then should we start with apes?
Yeah, we can talk about apes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not
good
talking
movies.
We've talked about Apes already on this pod in terms
Did
of
we talk about? Was that my topic at some point?
Ape Chat? We talked about Ape Chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ape Chat.
That was just
about regular.
That's just
I'm
about
talking about the motion pictures now. I think they're really good, and I'm excited for the new one.
specifically the latter trilogy, not like the Mark Wahlberg one. Not
I like them all. I like them all.
You like the Burden one?
I think it's novel. I saw it in Myrtle Beach.
Cool.
Can you give me the like bird's eye ape anthology or whatever? Like, what does it look like? The trilogy? I didn't even know it was a trilogy.
Well, yeah. So the new.
You got to go all the way back to the beginning.
So the beginning is the very old movies with Charlton Heston.
I think that was 68.
Oh,
sure.
58, 68.
I think I've only seen 3 of those, but I've always wanted to watch the rest of them.
This
Some
is like
of them-
deeper than Star Wars.
And a TV show.
correct me if I'm wrong, but is the original screenplay? Did Rod Serling?
You're correct in that.
I like they're just great sci-fi yarns.
It was a book as well in 1963, and the first film was 1968. Great job.
Nice. Nailed it.
One of my favorite tangential things of Planet of the Apes is in Mad Men. There's a scene where Don Draper skips out of work one day to go see Planet of the Apes with his son, who's like 7 or something.
Yeah.
The movie ends and they're just sitting there, and his son just goes, "Jesus Christ."
Well, I don't know if you know this, Stephen, but Planet of the Apes is considered to have one of the biggest twist endings in cinema history.
Oh, okay. I did not know
Which they
that.
put on the poster, so I don't
like
you know.
the same level of
Well, now
Sixth
they do,
Sense,
right?
I think
or
they
what?
did back then too.
There's no way.
Tell me the
No, it
twist.
had to be a-
What was it? What's the twist?
I'm pretty sure.
Do you care? Do you want me to ruin it for you?
I mean, you tell Shane. Should I get it ruined now, or should I watch?
I mean, I don't
it?
think it's that big of a twist, honestly. But
Honestly, if you don't know what it is, then you should watch it.
yeah, I'd be
That's
curious.
fair. Okay.
You should watch it
the-
with you. We could have a watch along.
You could also watch the remake because I think the remake also does.
Yeah,
the
but
same
the
twist.
remake's
it
kind of-
doesn't hit as hard.
No, the remake's a little different. The twist is we can offline about it, but it's
That's true.
It's
So you're talking about the
executed very-
68 version.
The
is the one with the
68
twist.
version.
These astronauts are on an interstellar mission. They get lost in space. They eventually land on a planet that is ruled by apes.
Oh.
And there are humans on the planet who are like their
Prisoners.
slaves.
How do you
Prisoners.
make dozens of movies around this?
What are you
Well,
talking about?
they-
Did you hear the premise? You just said
It's a whole
That premise
planet.
is
It's a planet
wild, bro.
of apes.
I know,
How
but
do you
I
fucking
saw-
How do you
Planet
make
of
dozens
monkeys.
of movies about planet Earth?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
So
I feel like we should ruin the twist for him.
the twist is it's actually
No, wait.
Oh,
Listeners, viewers, go ahead and skip to about the 20-minute mark if you don't want Planet of the Apes from 1968 spoiled for you.
okay.
That's fair.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. fair
Yeah.
enough.
Okay. Now
please.
tee it up.
Okay.
So these astronauts.
Can I
land-
guess the twist?
Yeah.
All right. Well, no. What is the? Just tell me the premise, though.
I already told you, but the astronauts land on a planet that is ruled by apes.
Okay.
And then a bunch of stuff happens, but
The twist is that they're related.
Who's related?
The apes and the people.
I
No, I mean,
guess I
evolution
suppose.
and
Yeah,
all
I
that
guess.
shit.
Yeah.
No, the twist is at the end they see the Statue of Liberty sort of like in the sands, and they realize that they've actually traveled to the future.
They didn't lost in space. They traveled.
I
through
love
time.
that you're not.
The way you described
waste it.
No. I felt it again.
It's
It's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It is good. I got a
Okay.
little goosebumps.
You
It's
got
great.
me there. You
So-
got me there. I gotta watch the movie
So
now.
a lot of it too is just like these astronauts. They land on this planet and they're like, "Why are all these humans in cages?" Like, I guess other travelers have been trapped here, and then they eventually break out of these cells.
And the apes can talk. They have like a sort of society.
Yeah.
going on.
Very smart.
They wear clothes.
Very smart.
They wear funny little outfits.
Yeah. I
And then-
love
I'm
telling you about
imagining-
this film.
Well, I'm imagining that, like, if I was alive in 1968,
Yeah.
watching this film, hearing about time travel, like, it's not a trope in cinema at that
No.
time. That must have been wild.
No, because one of the last shots is
I think
them
time
like
travel was like a thing then.
Yeah, but like, now it's just like a trope in everything, right?
Sure,
it's
sure,
like,
sure.
But that
Time
reveal,
Traveler's
though,
wife,
is so sick.
other time travel films.
Isn't it because he escapes out of the prison cells
He does,
and they
yeah.
run over to the beach?
So he's still like
And then-
with the. I don't remember how it all shapes
He's with
out
a
at the end.
girl, and I think he's with a
the girl ape. He's
The
with the
girl
girl
ape,
ape.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, we got to get out, and there's nowhere to go, the ocean. And it just pans over, and you see the Statue of Liberty, and you're like, what the fuck?
But then the other
Wow.
movies start to become like just different. They just start like playing within the world and have like their own little plots. Like one of them is about there's like a subset of apes who found like an old nuclear warhead and there's like a cult around it and they worship it. So each movie kind of has its own little thing.
It's sick.
Well, a lot of folks look great with the scruffy, stubbly look, gruffy, like Pedro Pascal or George Clooney. Oh, hey, you know what? Good for them. For everyone else, I'd love to introduce you to Henson Shaving. That's right. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the ISS, that's International Space Station for all you dummies, and the Mars rover. And now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are like diving boards. I'm always saying this. The longer the board, the more wobble. The more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave isn't a blade problem. No, it's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. One of my least favorite things about shaving is how quickly the blades get all gunked up. And let me tell you something, Henson is different. These razors have built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no planned obsolescence. The Henson razor works with standard dual-edged blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefits of new-school tech. Once you own a Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. Tell me a better deal than that. I'm waiting. It's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/watcher to pick the razor for you and use the code WATCHER, and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/watcher and use code WATCHER. So anyway, those all exist, and they made them through the late 70s.
Yeah, they got pretty tired, but then they revived it. There was a first revival attempt with Mark Wahlberg and a Tim Burton remake of the original, and then there was a second
Tim
attempt.
Burton.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that was meant to be like, we're rebooting the franchise.
I think if it would have been successful, they would have.
I wonder how
both
that
critically
did
and
VO.
in the
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. The production design is great. It's got Tim Roth as Nasty Ape. Who else is in
Michael
there?
Clark Duncan.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, yeah.
Now
Charlton Heston.
I'm rewatching
Very
the
old.
commercial because the Super Bowl was yesterday as we're filming this, and I'm rewatching the commercial in my head of the Apes trailer.
Well, now this is different though, because then they revived it a second time.
Yeah. So now,
yes,
the new Apes franchise, which started in 2014,
2013, 14. I want to say 14.
I want to say
That
2011.
late?
The second one was 2014.
I remember watching
He's
this
right.
movie
I
when
think
I
it
was
was
like,
2011.
yes, it was before I moved to
Rise
LA.
of Planet of the Apes 2011.
2011.
God, these movies
2011.
are so good.
They're great. It essentially starts in modern day
okay,
with a global pandemic that's going on, and they create a. Is that how? No. They create a vaccine.
No, it wasn't a global
No,
pandemic.
they're
It's just,
testing the monkeys.
James Franco is a scientist who works at this lab, and his father has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And he's trying to create some sort of serum or
Lithgow, his father, John Lithgow.
he's trying to save his dad's brain development. And so they start testing it on these apes. And then the apes get really, really fucking
They
smart.
get really smart.
And then from there, one of them takes particularly to this serum, and his name is Caesar. And he just becomes like the leader of all these apes and starts to get all the other apes more sentient. And then but then he still has love in his heart for James Franco and the family that took him in. And so he's kind of like, if you've watched Blade, which I imagine you haven't. No,
I've
he's like
not
the
watched
Daywalker. He's like, he empathizes with the humans, but he's also ape. Actually, you know who's a better example? He's more like Charles Xavier.
okay,
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
But the thing that is because it's a two-pronged thing, because it does make the apes smart, but at the same time, it fucks up humans, right?
Yes.
Because that leads to a global pandemic that
Yeah.
then starts wiping out, because the apes essentially like release it and then it starts killing off
That's what it
humans.
is.
Well, they release it to make the other apes smarter.
And all the other animals smarter.
Yeah.
too.
But then why do the humans start dying?
Because they released it.
Oh, because they released it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So-
a wonderful allegory
so
for
then by the
animal
time-
testing and the way we
also
treat
great
animals.
Tom Felton in that.
Whew.
The guy who plays Malfoy.
Yeah.
Basically playing
Oh.
Malfoy in an
He's a
animal
little
shelter.
bit ridiculous in that.
Yeah, he is,
just
but-
He's like
straight
slamming the
hosing
bars
down.
with like a
How
billy
old
club.
was he in that movie?
It was post Potter, I think.
Oh, okay,
You know.
okay.
He was like, I need to do something very different from what I did in the Potter films. He's talking to his reps.
gonna prod an ape with a
Why don't I
electrical-
electrocute some animals?
He's like
So
hosing
then-
them down. And
Yeah.
that was ridiculous.
And the first two are directed. Well, the first one I forgot who directed.
I
The
swear
first
he
one.
said, take that, Potter. And
Second one was directed by Matt Reeves, who recently did the Batman.
I want to say he did the first one as well.
He did the first
He
one.
didn't do the first one.
That's crazy to me. I thought it was for
Oh,
sure. he
Rupert Wyatt.
did. Ooh.
Matt Reeves did the second and third, and the second one then jumps ahead like 10, 15 years, maybe more.
Great.
And humans are largely gone now.
Wait, which
There's-
one has the Caesar's home line? First one, right?
Uh,
There's a moment when James Franco realizes him and Caesar
the window.
have to
the
separate
window.
because he's brought this baby guy up from like a little baby.
Fuck, you're
But
right.
then he has to say goodbye to
he
him.
lets him
because-
go in the woods.
And he goes in the woods and he's like, are you sure you don't want to come home? And then Caesar comes up to him.
These movies are
He
so
comes up to him and
fucking
he
good.
puts his mouth next to him. To this point, Caesar has not spoken. And he whispers, Caesar is home.
Oh my god,
Dude, it's
And
Well,
no,
he-
there's a
he-
better
well,
version.
well,
There's a better ending to this too.
He has spoken before that. It's the most climactic part of the
Oh
movie.
yeah, when he goes,
No!
no.
He says no, but he doesn't say like a fucking full.
Because the apes, in the first one, they're mostly doing sign language. Then in the second movie, they've adapted a little more and they speak sort of
Yeah.
a little more. They speak more, but it's still kind of rough. And then by the third movie, they're like having full
At
conversations.
the first and second movies,
Riding
the only ape
horses?
that could actually talk was Caesar.
Riding horses?
Riding
Apes?
horses. Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking crazy. Dude, there's a there
Wait, how are they? Is it all CGI? What's going on
It's
here?
it's motion
incredible.
capture. Andy Serkis plays Caesar.
Yeah.
The guy who played Smeagol.
2014 nominated for the Best Visual Effects Oscar. Lost to
Wow.
I believe he
Gravity.
also played King Kong too in the Peter Jackson King
He
Kong.
did, yeah.
For my money, one of the best trilogies.
I think it is
in
too.
all
The
time,
third
all
one
time.
whiffed it though.
All time.
I don't think the third one whiffed it.
I think
Here's
it
the
whiffed
thing.
it.
The
It
third
did.
one's called War for the Planet of the Apes. And it sets itself up, and the trailers led it to be this, which is like they primed you for a war movie.
They basically made
And then
Terminator
it's-
Salvation again in the same thing.
I haven't
Terminator
seen that.
Salvation. It was the same thing. The trailer promised this huge war. Great opening war sequence in the beginning of the film, and then the rest of it is just a prison film.
But that's the thing. Yeah. War for the Planet of the Apes is just a prison breakout movie.
yeah, it's the same thing.
which on its own is great. If you can like remove the expectations of it, I think it's really good. It's
Yeah.
just it's not a war.
Can I just the second film? There's again
Koba?
for my money, one of the best villains in cinema history.
Koba.
Koba.
Can I show you a picture?
Yeah, yeah. Show me.
Koba's
Show me.
so good.
Koba's great.
Koba's so good. And now I think we got Proximus coming up.
Look at that. Look at that.
Show me
monkey.
Koba. Let me see Koba. God.
Yeah, he's a scary guy.
So the whole crux of the second one is that Koba they did a lot of violent tests on him, the humans.
Yeah.
And so Caesar's still kind of working with the humans, and Koba wants complete segregation from the humans, which
He's
you can
Magneto.
understand.
For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And he
Magneto
points to the
totally.
scars on him and he
Oh,
says
my-
human work.
yeah, he's
I'm getting chills right now.
It's so
I'm gonna
good.
cry.
Damn.
Also that scene where Koba
now, do you root for
Yeah.
Koba in the movie?
You could
he's a
understand his
tragic you
plight.
understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think Koba's also in the first film. He's one of the people
he?
that's
I
in
always
the
wondered
cage with
that, yeah.
Caesar, and he becomes smart along with Caesar. But Caesar establishes himself as the alpha, and Koba's like his right hand man in the army. And then he eventually is like, I think I can run this shit better than you can.
It's one of those ones where you're like, you feel just anguish because you understand where everyone's coming from, and you're like, I wish you could figure it out.
Yeah.
But you understand that it won't.
Because the
Yeah,
apes have
well,
like their own politics. Like some of them want to be more lenient toward the humans. Others
Yeah.
want to just eradicate them. Maybe very similar to X-Men, as you said.
This is like a very similar kind of plot device where you'll have like two leaders, one who's like the alpha, one who's the beta, I suppose. The alpha is the more kind of like compromising, understanding individual, and then the other guys maybe more like, let's get this done in the most violent. You see this in Walking Dead too, with Rick and Shane.
Mm.
Yeah, But they are both well-designed characters that you care for both of them.
I'm excited about the new one because the ape who seems to be the villain, whose name is Proximus, is played by, I forgot the actor's name, but he played a character on Lost named Kimi, who was a great, if underused, villain. It was just one of those actors who, like, he shows up on screen and you're like, this person is
up to no good.
He's very, very imposing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see his performance.
I just the thing about the new Ape film.
Wait, sorry. It says that Kevin Durant portrays.
Yeah, that's his name.
Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
I know Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant
That'd be crazy.
portrays Proximus Caesar.
Proximus.
It's
Wow.
the thing about it is Matt Reeves did the second and the third film. He's a great director, obviously. I just don't understand why they're making a fourth one when the third one kind of wrapped it up.
So this is a continuation of the trilogy,
is. And I'm into it solely in keeping of the tradition of the old franchise was just like, we're going to keep telling stories in this world.
I'm gonna see it. I'll tell you. that.
It doesn't. I don't know that it necessarily robs the perfection of the trilogy.
No, to me, it's kind of how I felt about Toy Story 4.
Well,
I was like, I'll see this. I don't think I needed it.
I needed more Forky.
I think it's a bit more like a Mad Max where they're like, here's another story.
Yeah.
Here's another chapter in the Mad Max
Which, by the way,
story.
Toy Story trilogy. It's pretty fucking.
A perfect trilogy.
It's pretty fucking perfect.
Ooh.
Like, no one talks about that when it comes to best trilogies.
It's true.
Top 5 beatdown with trilogies would
That's
be
nice.
insane. We should
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Let me
you
be on
should
set when
definitely
you
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Got some bucket thoughts.
What's your number 5 right now?
for
give us a little tease. What's number
that's
5?
actually a tough one to do because it's easy to think of my favorite, but like if I have to go down the list, okay, I have to get in my mind what my favorite is.
Problem is we'd be hovering around a lot of the same ones.
Yeah, what's
I
something
would
that's
think so.
in that?
You would think so.
I rewatched Before Sunset this week.
Oh, that's a good trilogy.
I've seen that whole trilogy. It's been a very long time since I watched them, and rewatching Before Sunset was electrifying.
It's before, during, and after? Is that what it
The
is?
first movie is Before Sunrise, second's Before Sunset, third one's Before Midnight.
I didn't realize they were all before.
Holy moly. It's an incredible movie.
Where would I put 5? You know, this might be a hot take, and I don't even know if it would make my 5, but if I'm thinking of like one that's...
I hope we're saying the same thing.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I like the Back to the Future trilogy.
Oh, boo.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of one that's like clearly on a more bottom tier, but if I was trying to get to a 5 without trying to like list it all the way through.
You know what's in my top 5?
What?
Pirates. 1, 2, 3.
You
Nope.
I
Pirates 1, 2, 3, baby.
No, man.
Pirates 1, 2, 3. And you know why?
You know what?
Because
We're
there's a
gonna
bad,
do the
there's a
top
bad
5. We're gonna
Star
do the
Wars
top
and there's a
5.
bad Indiana Jones
We'll
in
do
the
the
top
top
3.
We'll do the top 5.
Bad Star
And
Wars.
we should have you
The
on
first
that one
one?
because
Third?
here's what I'll give you one quick thought about Pirates and we could move on so that we don't bore everyone to death with movie talk still. But
Talk about best villains of all time.
here's what I don't like about Pirates.
Davy Jones.
It clearly was studio produced.
So?
No. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, I'll explain it this way. The first movie, a fucking nearly perfect film.
Okay.
Curse of the Black Pearl. Mari and I watch that movie all the time. It's fucking incredible. In fact, one night when we got bored on our anniversary trip to France, it was like 9 p.m. and we were like, we could go out, but we're also staying where we could hear the waves. What if we watched Curse of the Black Pearl with the window open and
Really
would feel,
nice.
and it was fucking amazing. Anyways, the one thing I always hone in on, when they first showed dailies of them filming that movie and the execs saw Jack Sparrow, they were terrified. And they were like, oh boy, I think he needs to dial it back. We don't really know what he's doing. And you could kind of get a sense of that because he's really the only character that acts like that in that whole movie. And that's why there's not that much Jack Sparrow in that movie. It's not a Jack Sparrow film.
For sure.
But then once they saw the commercial success of what he was doing, they did what execs do, which is I'm going to double down on the thing that we think people like, not realizing that, hey, maybe it's a good idea that he is not the main character and that he kind of adds flavor. And they made all the rest of the films about him and it just derailed that franchise for me.
That's kind of what happened with Too Many Spirits.
It's a good point.
That's kind of what happened with Too Many Spirits.
That's right. I'm the Jack Sparrow of Too Many Spirits. And then those segments tripled in length. And they shouldn't be.
I do think Dead Man's Chest was like, all right, sure. At World's End, I almost fell asleep in that movie. I was like, I don't need to fucking see Johnny just getting chased by crabs. It was weird.
Did you get chased by crab?
He was
Yeah,
getting
in that
chased by
dream
crabs.
sequence.
Yo.
He's in a dream sequence for like most of that movie.
I remember that.
He wasn't in a dream sequence. He was in Davy Jones' locker.
Whatever.
I think it was the third one when I saw it in theaters that I was very tired when I saw it. And
Dude.
I kept falling asleep during it. So my memory of it is very hazy.
It felt like they watched Lawrence of Arabia and they're like, we should fucking do something like this.
No way, dude.
Today's episode is sponsored by Factor. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You'll have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. And it couldn't be easier. Fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat and eat whenever you are. And they've done the math, folks. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian-approved to be nutritious and delicious. One thing we absolutely need here is flexibility, okay? We could be gone shooting Ghost Files one week and in the studio the next. Factor makes it easy. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing 6 to 18 meals per week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. If you haven't tried it, head to factormeals.com/watcher50 and use code watcher50 to get 50% off. That's code watcher50 at factormeals.com/watcher50 to get 50% off. Next topic. That's movies. That's Apes. It's been really fun. Thank you for indulging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven, we'll get you on those Apes films.
I'm gonna.
You should catch
You
up.
should watch the new ones.
I'll pop up the 68 one and then I'll go from there.
Well,
Start that one.
68 and then the new one.
Yes,
Yeah,
68
okay.
and then the new
Okay.
ones. And then
feel
after
free
you're done
to
with
fast
that,
forward some of the 68 one. There's a lot at the beginning where the guys are just walking around the desert for a bit.
Yeah.
And
All
I'm going
right.
to say something crazy. I don't think you need to. I mean, now he knows the twist. It's not.
You might not need to watch
Maybe
it.
It's not
Okay.
integral to watch. Watch the new ones for sure. Because it would be cool if we all went to go see the fourth one.
I just love to watch
That'll
things in
never happen.
order.
Let's move on to your topic, though, which was your engagement photo.
No, non-engagement photos.
Photos.
Photos. Okay.
Photos. But the reason I chose this topic is because I did just take engagement photos last week.
How was
which
that
is why
experience?
I got this perm redone last week as well. If you're watching the YouTube version, you can see my hair.
You can see it all.
Yeah.
You could also see my funny little microphone that I have now, which Steven
Yeah,
told
what's
me.
that all about?
You
Why
told
are
me
you
I had to
holding your...
point this out because people would make fun of me if I didn't. And I think people were going to be like, that's a handy device.
It's humongous.
It's enormous. It's actually pretty unwieldy.
But it needs
and I
to
think
be-
I'm gonna
it
switch
needs to
next
be
episode.
longer.
Can you hold it up at the top like a Freddie Mercury? Like
Yeah.
yeah, like that.
Like this?
Yeah.
I guess that is a little more comfortable, actually. Because like down here, what? Down here, I'm going to demonstrate to Mac. I have to take my mouth off the mic.
This is the only
There's like
podcast you listen to where we're going to talk
It's
to you
like you
about
have
the
to do
microphones
this.
that we have.
I think right here. Actually, this ain't bad.
I'm just still used to you looking strange generally.
That's fair.
Like the image in my mind right now is you holding that like 3-gallon water bottle that you used to hold to bring to work every day. You
Yeah,
remember
maybe
this?
look like a giant baby.
Like you used to you do things like that. So this
do
is
do
this is
things
normal
like
to
that.
me.
It would be cool if you got a big rubber nipple for the top of that.
Now we're cooking with grease.
Or I guess it's just a regular size.
I could just be
rubber
sucking on
nipple.
that
If it
bad
was
boy during
just
interviews.
The huge jug with the little teeny tiny nipple.
We'd have to move the podcast to like the M-rated aisle.
don't
But
think
yeah.
so.
Anyway, photos.
Like
When's
So-
the last time you had something out of a rubber nipple?
Dude, I was just
do you think
thinking
it's a satisfying way to drink liquid?
I could do with sucking on a nipple, dude. I think that'd be pretty goddamn satisfying.
Like when babies have a little bottle, like they seem really happy.
I feel like the water would have to be hot though for it to really fully have.
I'm talking about like warm
the
milk
desired
or
effect.
some tea
Well, sometimes I'll
or
go to
coffee.
I'll go to a restaurant and be like, "Hey," and Mari got me onto this. Can
Or
I
a
get some
cocktail?
hot water with lemon?
That's nice.
That inside of a big bottle, and I'm just sitting there. It'd be good.
Can I get some hot water with a lemon in
Can
a
you put it
bottle
in my
with a
big-
rubber nipple
Can
on
you put
it?
it in my big bottle? So I could drink it with two hands, like I'm one of the fucking country bears at Country Bear Jamboree.
God.
Anyways, we're talking about photos, right, Steven?
Photos.
Don't
yes.
tell me you want to don't want to suck a nipple.
So for photos, we're gonna move on here.
Baby bottle pops.
I just wanted to bring it up because I hate taking photos, and I was wondering if you guys do too.
I do.
Yeah.
There's something about photos
That's it.
that I find.
Number 3.
That's the topic. No, the thing. So I realized this as I was doing this photo shoot. I do videos because I am much more comfortable in motion, like being able
Yeah.
to,
Yep.
But the idea of posing and modeling and staying still, and I know that half the photos I'm in, I'm blinking.
Mm.
And also, how do you smile? How do people know how to smile in a
I
photo?
don't know how to smile.
How do people do that?
I don't enjoy it. There's something that feels more artificial with a photo as opposed to video. Video, you could just be and it's captured.
Yeah.
Photo, you do have to be a part of the process of taking a photo.
None of us know our angles.
No.
I think if you look at our history of merch photos that we've taken,
Oh my gosh.
You
we
can
try
sense how
our best.
uncomfortable
You remember our
everybody
first
else
photo shoot that we did in
the promotional one?
yeah,
With us on the couch?
and I was trying to smile.
Great photos. I love those photos.
Yeah, I was trying to.
fun.
Do you remember what I did to smile? I kept going.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Like, I don't know how to like make myself laugh other than like do a really stupid sound. So I was like doing this
That was
thing
good.
to
Well,
help.
that also made
qualify.
everybody else laugh,
It
which
did make
was,
me laugh,
It was good.
You know
Yeah.
where I really like it was the worst version of taking photos, and it like fully came to like a head for me was when we had to do any kind of red carpet photos. And the biggest version of that was that gala that you and I went to where you got your award, and just seeing some of the other folks just work the red carpet and then just like have several poses. Like they're never not like, you don't just sit there and just smile. Cause I was just standing there and just like smiling, but like other people like are constantly like shifting their pose, you know?
Yeah.
Some people, because some people just don't even smile.
And that doesn't sit well with me. For me, if
Yeah.
I don't care about watching other people do it, but if I were to sit there and not smile,
Like, what would people think of me?
I know I'd be like, what am I, a fucking cool guy now?
Yeah, right.
I'm not a cool guy.
Yeah.
I want to
you
drink
gotta
water out of
smile.
a nipple.
You could be like, hey.
Hot water.
Yeah. Hot water out of a nipple.
But yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. It always has.
Do you ever practice your smile?
No.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were
Sounds
going to
like
say you do.
It sounds like
Well,
you do.
no. When I was in middle school, I used to I would look in the mirror and I'd smile and I'd be like, "Wow, this is the worst. I gotta get this better."
I don't like to hear that.
I would try to get better, and I never did.
I always think it's so. I've seen people say like you should never make fun of someone's laugh.
Yeah, because it's something they can't change.
Because that's like heartbreaking. If someone is self-conscious about the way that they laugh.
Yeah.
That's like because then they can't.
I had to teach
Just
myself how to
fucking-
laugh.
Well, this is weird.
So like,
What are you, Chat GPT? What
Yeah.
the fuck, dude?
yeah. So let me tell you
I
this.
feel like laugh for me. Laugh. Okay. Yeah. No. It's perfectly
no.
human.
I think so. I find a lot of things very funny.
Yeah,
But I have a internal laughter.
that's fair.
But
yeah.
I'm not good at expressing the laughter outwardly. So even though I think something's funny, I'll laugh inside, but I won't laugh outside. So I had to like translate that internal joy to like expression.
Yeah.
happens
that's
to me
tough.
sometimes.
I've seen you though. Like it comes naturally to you though. Yeah. I've seen
After
you.
many years of training.
I've
and
seen you really
practice.
laugh at times.
That you actually did make me think though. In middle school and elementary school, I did not know how to smile at that point. I never really. It just kind of happened. Over
Yeah,
time.
you gotta
I love
learn.
it.
But I didn't practice. I just kept. Every time I would go to like school photo day, I would get the photos back, and I'd be like, "What the fuck was I doing in there?"
It's so
And-
funny when you look at yearbooks from like early grade school and you could see your friends in there who like clearly are aware of what a smile is, but they're just kind of like,
Yeah, dude.
like wide eyes. They look like they're like being electrocuted.
Yeah, so many of mine just look like I'm just fully
They're
constipated.
growling,
Just,
yeah.
like, just a fully just pained shit.
It's so funny.
It's not good.
Everybody learns eventually.
And my mom would even be like, "What are you doing in this?"
I would love to see some of these.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah.
I'll see if my mom could take a picture of some of them. You'll see what I mean. There's a strained look on my face, and I had just completely forgotten about that until you mentioned middle school.
Some
Yeah.
kids also do a really high eyebrow when they smile. Like
Oh,
that's another grade school. Like
That's a different, like, I already shit myself.
They look
and
like
now
really
I can feel it.
I also, engagement photos are especially weird because, like, Sarah and I, are, it feels weird when there's people who are like, okay, now kiss.
Yo, yeah.
And you're like, all right, like, hey, we kiss plenty, but it's weird to be in public and have someone being like, kiss each other now while I take pictures of you.
Well, I'll tell a little bit of what happened this week. We were at a relatively dark restaurant, and so she brought a spotlight. So literally
everyone in the restaurant,
everybody can see us.
That's a nightmare for me.
We can't see them. And she was like, okay, how do you guys feel? Do you want to try something different? And we're like, sure. And so then she was like, okay, Tammy, why don't you get on the table?
All right.
Put your foot up and lean into Steven. And then Steven, you kind of get
foot on the table?
No, your body sit on the table, foot up behind you, leaning in.
I'm trying to picture this.
That's like a lion.
We might not use this photo.
It's like making you into a lion at the zoo. What the fuck?
Very
Wait, you know what, Steven? You describe
this is
it.
you up on the table or Tammy?
I will try and
Tammy's
do it.
doing that.
All right,
Tammy's
describe it
doing
again.
that.
I will try and do
All right.
it.
All right. Now sit on the table.
Your life is insane.
Let me. What did you? So,
sit on the table.
Yeah.
Now, lean into me like you're gonna kiss me.
Yeah.
And put your foot up behind you.
What does that mean? Like behind his head?
Like get on your knees.
Get on your knees.
Oh,
like this?
Get on your knees.
Put your foot behind your head.
Yeah. And then have your foot up high.
Which one?
Either one. Yeah, higher. No, up.
What am I pissing on a fire hydrant? What the fuck?
And this is all
it goes back. It goes back.
There's other
like
people.
Are you fucking kidding me? There's
we're in a restaurant. We're in a restaurant with a spotlight on us. We can't see anybody, and they're all looking at us.
I look like a mermaid in a fountain, dude. Like a stone person in a fountain.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
It's interesting. It's funny though because Tammy is taking acting classes now.
Yeah.
She's like actually getting into that, so it was a good practice for her.
Yeah.
To be out of her comfort zone, but
that's wild.
But yeah, she was great. Our photographer Brandy, she was amazing. I can even like link her or whatever. But we chose her because she was great at finding candid poses for people and taking those moments. So for us, when we were doing it, we weren't having to like smile to the camera very often. It was more like, hey, you guys just be in your own world, pretend I'm not here. And that's what I want to do in photos.
That's exactly what our photographer did as well, which was nice.
I think a lot of times they push you out of your comfort zone so you then can you make a moment with each other being like, this is so crazy, isn't it? And then you're like, then real laughter comes
That's
through.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
On our actual wedding day, I felt like the photos that I ended up liking the most were like moments where we sort of weren't paying attention to them and just started like laughing about something that didn't have to do with the photographer telling us to do. They did a great job, but it was very hard for us to like be like, okay, we're posing adorably. It's tough.
Yeah, our photographer did the exact same thing. Just kind of pretend like because Mari and I felt equally uncomfortable with doing like.
Even Mari?
Yeah, when it's like.
That makes me feel better about myself. If knowing that Mari is not most comfortable around cameras too, even because she's like, I mean, Mari.
It's part of the job. But
she's an actress. She's like
but that's still not like acting is different than photos
for sure.
It's because you're being yourself.
Yeah, you're being exactly.
Well, photos also don't move.
But also when you're posing, yeah, exactly.
Movies,
it's pretty big,
right there in the name.
Yeah, right in the movies. No, I think it's also just like you. A photo is like asking you to be yourself while being in a pose scenario in a weird way. And so like that was part of the reason why we told our photographer, could we just take the engagement photos in our apartment?
Oh,
that's nice.
And that way
those were in your apartment?
All of them.
They're beautiful.
Yeah. We were just like, we're going to go into the spots we usually hang out and then you could just take some photos. And that's kind of how it worked.
That's dope.
What made you guys settle on the restaurant?
They wanted the attention.
That was about 40% of it.
They're exhibitionists.
40%.
All right, now Mounter.
Was it a restaurant you guys like, or
it was a restaurant that we liked the vibe of, and we wanted somewhere that like felt comfortable, and
had you been there before?
Obviously, actually not at that restaurant. No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but we liked the lighting and everything there. The look.
How'd you land on yours, Shane?
It's a hot dog place that we go to a lot.
Waltz, right?
Have you been to Waltz?
No, I want to go.
Oh, it's so good. It's over in Eagle Rock. Great place. Great beer. You get a nice Hams beer there. Nice hot dog. They got a bunch of pinball machines. It's a great, like,
I love a hot dog.
it's a kind of bar that you can't, there's more of them like out in Highland Park and Eagle Rock. I feel like there's not a lot of good bars in LA proper.
Well, there's a specific type of bar in those places.
For sure.
And those bars fit your vibe, I think.
Yeah.
I don't care where I'm going, as long as they have like good shit. But
Yeah. Or even bad shit. If it's cheap,
That's
if
true.
you drink it
If
and
it's
you can
cheap.
get blackout
But
drunk
you don't
on it,
really
then
drink
you're
that
there.
much anymore.
not anymore, unfortunately. It's too much, man.
You've
We're on that
changed,
Loomy
man.
beat now.
Yeah.
We're on that Loomy beat.
I just my hangovers have gotten
This
so
ain't
bad.
even sponsored by Loomy, but maybe it is.
No, it's not.
I love Loomies.
Dude.
What is Loomy?
You should tell the
The
story,
gummies?
Shane.
They're not a sponsor of this episode.
Okay, then
Okay.
Then we'll save it.
we'll save it.
But yes, it's an awkward thing. But I'm sure the nice thing is that it's a volume business, so they take 500 photos.
Oh, photos?
and
Yeah.
you get 20 that you're.
She was also shooting on a film camera.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
not really a volume thing.
I think Jack did that when we did it with him too. He had a little film camera.
Yeah.
You know what it is too about photos is you saying the volume thing made me realize this. It taps into a vanity in myself that I don't usually ever think about.
Look at our
Yeah.
Instagram feeds. You know,
Yeah.
we're not really posting.
No,
I'm barely posting anything ever.
but the thing is, like, if you take like the fact that you could take like 100 photos of me and I will probably only like a handful of them shows there is some sort of interior vanity there that I don't often acknowledge. But I like the idea of it coming to the forefront. That makes me uncomfortable too.
Like
Mm.
it's just tough, especially because like we should be, pushing ourselves as a brand, but
Yeah, we're not good
It's
at
not
that.
something we really think about.
The last thing I posted on my Instagram was a video I made of my dog being a demon.
I love that.
It's fun.
But that's also, that's what people want.
But then you look at other people's feeds and you're like, oh, they post selfies.
Yeah.
Why am I so hung up? Even
I
like
posted some selfies on mine.
sometimes if I'm like out
was it?
at a bar or something, I'll take a mirror selfie in a bathroom just to remember it. And I'm usually like just sort of like
Right.
dead eyed.
I will say over time too, when I first started using Instagram, and this, I don't know, I would just, whatever, I'll post this, it's funny. Or I'll post that picture. And now I actually do think about the things I'm
There's
posting.
the weight of just having more people following me.
I think so. That
Where I'm
has
like-
played into it, and I don't know what that means.
I don't know that it's a consideration, but it just makes me want to post less. I don't know why.
Me too. But before, I would be out and about like, oh, look at this. That's a cool little photo of a building. I'm just going to post that. Or here's me in front of this. I'll just,
Yeah.
without thinking, just, there you go. And
Maybe
then
I'll post a photo every day for the rest of the year.
Good luck.
Is that the takeaway here?
I need a quicker trigger finger.
But yeah, that's it for photos from me. I don't like them. If you in the comments tell me what
I'm
you
sure
do,
you're gonna love your engagement
I
photos.
really hope so.
Oof.
I really hope
That's
so.
another one.
This video of this seal slapping its belly. It
Alrighty.
is.
What's the caption?
It's me at 2:58 in the morning looking for a little snacky snack. And
Ryan texted me that over the weekend and said, "Remind you of anyone?"
and I tweeted out, I'm not usually one to comment, that's me, but I do this little belly slap all the time. I love rubbing my belly, but mine's after I eat. Here's
I
another.
have a video of Ryan rubbing his belly. This was when we were in Louisville.
Nice pronunciation.
Is there? Because I think I usually go with a Louisville.
Well, you
Or you just go straight Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville.
I had family there too.
Shout out
You found
502.
there?
Yeah.
I've been there a few times.
It's a fun place.
Beautiful town.
It's okay.
I like it.
Sorry.
I like it a lot.
Sorry, Matt.
Come from Ohio, and I've been very nice.
Last time we shot there, when we went back to Waverly, I walked for. There was one night where we were meeting up later in the night, and I just like left at like 3 or 4 p.m. and I went on like a 3-hour walk. Gorgeous town. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I guess we can move on to the last topic here, which is Ed and Lorraine Warren. So we have what a segue there.
Should I just walk out the door?
Smooth ass transition. You know
Oh,
who,
we need your thoughts.
No.
so you don't know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are.
No idea.
So Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Should I know? Am I?
Kinda.
Okay.
Have you seen the Conjuring films?
I have not.
Too scary.
They
Not that. I have no interest.
you're not a horror-
I don't watch a lot of movies in general.
But you're not a horror film
I haven't
guy.
seen The Apes. So
You haven't seen the Apes.
Its Conjuring
No.
films are pretty fucking good. They're scary. That first one,
Not as good as Apes.
yeah, that's true. I would say that. But I mean, in terms of horror franchises, pretty up there. They're pretty good. Anyways, it's this couple. They're paranormal investigators. One of them, Lorraine Warren, is a psychic, and her husband is more just the paranormal investigator type.
These are real people.
These are real folks. And they are probably the most famous ghost hunters to ever live. To the point where, and I don't know how much of that is because they made the Conjuring films based off of them.
I see. Okay.
So those movies center around Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, and they play Ed and Lorraine Warren. And they kind of make them almost into like MCU folks in those in those films.
Yeah.
The films are great, directed by James Wan. Love that guy. But there has been a lot of folks who just think that they're hucksters, basically, that they faked all their case files. Shane being one of them. In fact,
they are. I mean, it's not people think. People. It's pretty conclusive, I think.
Is it conclusive?
I mean, I haven't done a ton of research into
You
this.
can't say
I don't
it's
give a shit.
conclusive.
I think people have said that, yeah.
But they, one of the things that's featured heavily in the films is they have like I don't know what you would call it, like a museum of just every investigation they've done. They've taken an object and they put it in this museum. I think the idea, and I might be wrong about this, was that they could then contain the entities attached to them as opposed to just letting them be whatever.
In the movie, it's very impressive.
It's a cool looking little basement. They go down. Patrick Wilson goes down some basement steps, has one of those like pull string lights. The entire basement lights up. You just see shelves full of these antiquities.
In the
They're all
movie,
haunted.
it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
It also exists in real life.
And Shane and I actually went there in real
Oh.
life. We did an
And
episode
it's
of
not,
BuzzFeed
it's
Unsolved.
very different from what you see in the movie.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it's really cool and impressive. And in real life, it exists.
In real life, it kind of looks more and feels more like a gift shop. And it's but the most famous item that they have in there is this little doll named Annabelle.
Okay.
And Annabelle the doll is said to be one of the most dangerous haunted objects in the world. They've claimed that people have.
Was it the doll
right
that
now,
caused
listener
Katrina
Shane
or
is
something?
jerking himself, not like him.
Who,
like a
who was
he
the doll
jerk,
that
but
caused
like
Katrina? Who was telling? You were talking about this.
That was Robert the doll, wasn't it?
The
Did
Robert the doll. Robert
caused
the doll.
Hurricane Katrina.
That's I don't know about that.
That's what someone said.
That's what somebody
right?
said. Yeah.
You can say anything.
You said that.
I don't
you
think I
said
said
that.
that. I did not say
You
that.
wrote a whole paper about that.
No, you had mentioned that.
Don't blow my spot.
You had mentioned that there was not correlation, or not causation, but there was time syncing of that happeing. This is like a watch.
What are you talking about?
No, a watch. We had like a Watch Weekly episode where you
There's
brought this
no
up.
way.
No, I'm not dead. Why would I know that then?
Because it feels like you're playing. You're doing some tomfoolery here.
It was a Too Many Spirits, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe
it
it's Too Many
was.
Spirits.
It was a Too Many Spirits.
Oh, there was a story that
About
was
Robert
about
the
it.
doll.
Yeah, Robert the doll. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what it
And
was.
someone was like, I think he also caused Hurricane Katrina, LMAO.
That's what it was.
I
Yeah,
don't remember what it was.
yeah. That is some of the dumb lore attached to that one. He's actually in the old Key West Museum. Anyways, there's another doll, Annabelle. It's said that when people interacted with her or have touched her, that they have died shortly after. There was like a story of a guy getting into a fatal motorcycle accident after touching her
Yikes.
and claiming that she had no powers. There's a sign that says, "Do not touch the glass."
Did you touch Annabelle?
No, here's this. No, we've never talked about this before.
No, we haven't.
Shane.
We talked about it here and there at a live show or two.
So we filmed an episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved in this little museum, which was basically a gift shop.
And this was the way this panned out. It was we've had a handful of episodes of shows over the years where we get to a location and we're like, okay, here's the game plan.
Yeah.
And then we find out that we will have drastically shorter time there.
Oh, yeah.
Because this place, what do we have, an hour?
We were supposed to be filming an entire episode at Ed and Lorraine Warren's, museum. We were doing this for The Conjuring, I believe.
No, we did it for, was it Annabelle Comes Home?
Annabelle Comes Home.
Which I think is a pretty good movie.
It's actually a good movie.
It feels like because wait, is there a third Conjuring?
No, I think they're making a third one, though.
Is there not? Is there a third Conjuring?
I don't
Maddie,
believe
can
so.
you check that?
Looking.
Oh, yes, there is.
They're like running around the sewers or something.
Yeah, it's the more true crimey one.
Is this The Devil Made Me Do It?
The devil made me do it. So we were supposed to investigate this museum for a full investigation, which is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Somewhere like an actual investigation. Thorough. But this place, when we got there, we were doing this with, I believe, Warner Bros. And they had representatives there, and they were like, so. And they kind of framed it as like this was always the deal. They're like, all right, so you guys are going to go in there. You'll about have an hour, and you can come back out. Mind you, this is like daylight. Like it's like broad daylight. And we were like, wait, what? And we were with Katie LeBlanc. And Katie LeBlanc hears that and does like a triple take and was like, wait a second. And we were supposed to have a full investigation here. And they're like, I don't know. This is what you guys got. So we basically had to go in there, do an investigation for just an hour, which I was pissed about. But luckily we got some decent stuff in there. But the thing that became like the crux of that episode was they have Annabelle for like very prominently displayed in this like impressive casing with a sign that says "Do not touch the glass. Consequences," kind of something along those lines.
Was that Katie's first Unsolved episode?
No.
Was it?
No, I don't think so. It was the first time she went on location.
That's what I mean. First, like hunt out. Yeah.
Because she had done true crime before that.
Right.
But yes, and Shane being Shane. Well, you know what? Why don't you tell the rest? Shane?
There's a part in the episode which people are like incredible. There's a part where it's they told us very explicitly, like, don't touch it because you'll make her mad or something. And there's a part in the episode where I lean to tap the glass and Ryan very quickly grabs my hand. And people are like, incredible that Ryan knew Shane was going to do that. But the reason he knew I was going to do that is because I had already tapped on the glass a bunch.
Like about 10 seconds before that. And I was like, dude.
Off camera?
Yeah, I was like, stop touching the glass. We can't. First off, we can't
like
put
a
that
fish
in the
tank, you know?
Yeah.
I was just like, anybody home?
Yeah, because we can't put that in the episode. We weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
And so I knew he was going to do it again. And so I just grabbed his hand. But in the episode, it looks like I have like cat-like reflexes. And in reality, it's just because he was already fucking doing, ha, can you see me, Annabelle? Like doing that whole routine. And needless to say, Shane is still alive.
Yeah.
And there.
How many years ago was that?
When was it? 2018, 2017?
I want to say it was 2018.
Oh, yeah, I think
2017.
Yeah, so the curse is definitely not happening.
I mean, unless it's a long acting curse.
Nah.
Unless Watcher is part of that curse and it's going to be part of Shane's downfall.
Oh.
That could be it.
But it's a Raggedy Ann doll. It's like not
That's true.
Scary.
And we also actually doubled down by going to the Conjuring house, like the place where they filmed, and they had like a little Annabelle there.
That's
too.
where. What are those other boys? Sam and
Colby.
Sam and Colby. They went there and they. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's so funny when you go to these places and then see other people who go there and they're like, I get such a bad vibe from this house. You're like, you people are.
Dude,
actually, I think I
thought you were going to comment on the evidence.
I mean, it's fully faked. Yeah. I don't.
Do you want this in there?
Yeah, I do want this in there. I don't know that.
Oh,
I'm not saying that they knew that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's the idea for you. Oh, I guess
there's like knocking.
There's some knocking that's happening in like a way that a spirit is trying to communicate, but it's very, very compelling. And I guess through some way it was found out that it was perhaps fabricated. But then the idea is maybe that the people that were performing the knocking, because they are ghost hunters like Shane and I. And then they brought in these two other people who use this knocking method. And apparently the knocking that they hear on command and stuff, you could do by, if you practice with your toes, you could like actually make a noise, I think, with either your bones or the floor. There's something along those lines. So
there's a bunch of different ways.
We should bring Kevin the magician back in to explain.
We should bring Kevin on a ghost hunt.
That's true. Have him do some close-up card magic for some of the ghouls.
Yeah.
And some people don't know if Sam and Colby actually knew. I can't say.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's very possible they didn't know that they were being,
it seemed like they had a legit emotional reaction.
Yeah, which is fine. But do your
I didn't
research.
watch those videos, but I did watch.
Be a little more thorough.
I watched the video where they talk about, like, they had a video that came out afterward.
That's correct.
That was like, oh, we got accused of all this, fabrication and everything. They seem genuine in that video.
Well, they'd have to be. They're not going to be like, you're right.
No, but I mean, just judging based on that.
I have to say, too, seeing that video, I was genuinely insulted.
Which one? The one where they apologized?
The one where they were like, oh, we were accused of fabricating or whatever.
Why were you
I was insulted because for people to accuse you of fabricating, you had to have captured evidence that would make people think you fabricated the evidence. So the fact that we have not had anybody accuse us of fabricating means to me that maybe people don't think I've gotten good evidence.
I generally think that if you see a YouTube video with ghost hunters and the evidence seems like too good to be true.
But we've got some good stuff.
We have, but there's nothing that we've gotten where I'm like, yeah, that could be a ghost.
What about the hum at Waverly? That was pretty good.
I don't think it's a ghost.
It's pretty good evidence.
It's good evidence.
It's good evidence.
It could be explained by a lot of things.
Exactly.
And we've seen somewhat figures too, I would say.
Well, but again, it's not.
No one's accusing.
You know what's funny?
Accuse me.
The very first episode of Ghost Files, the very first one, when you're like, "This is it. This is one of the greatest pieces of evidence we ever had. This is worth staying up till 4 a.m. in the morning."
It was good.
And I watched it live for the first time in the theater with all the fans, and I was like,
"That's it.
That's."
Yeah, but did you hear the audience? The audience knew. They saw what was on the screen.
And by the way, I like. This business would be doing great if you find some great evidence. I'm looking forward to that day.
Okay, all right.
But,
I'm just saying.
I realized one of Ryan's, anytime anyone starts calling into question, is like how exciting his evidence is. He always goes into it like, well, they saw.
They saw. No, they know. They know. I bet you there's people on Reddit that are like, I think Ryan and Shane are faking evidence. I haven't found it yet.
I've never seen a single person say
nobody.
that.
And I've always, there's half of me is like, people trust us. And the other half of me is like, well, I think that some of the evidence that we've had is good enough that people think we faked it. But
that's good. Yeah. I mean,
no,
it is,
I don't think they think you fake it, but a lot of it is very.
You get what I'm coming at.
I do.
It's unbelievable. I was insulted. I was like, we need to make an apology video. We should just start doing them. At the next season of Ghost Files, we should make an apology video that's like, hey, everyone here is accusing us of faking the evidence we got in the last episode. We want to say for a fact we did not fake it.
Just have a pile of mailbags behind us.
Can I read you something I found?
Yeah.
So I just looked up, have the Ghost Files Unsolved guys ever faked anything? Someone said, is Supernatural scripted or fake? And then
I love when people ask if it's scripted.
Yeah.
People, a lot of people, majority of people coming to your aid here, but someone said, in having your back.
Where is this? Reddit.
Considering they never find anything substantial, would be pretty stupid if they scripted that.
Clearly a Shaniac. Obviously, he's not seen episode 101, Waverly Hills.
Stupid. It would be pretty stupid if they scripted.
See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I'm going to start making fake Reddit accounts accusing us of faking evidence. We got to get some heat because these Sam and Colby cats and all the other ones that are like them out there, they're getting accused. We need to start getting accused
again. And I'm not leveling any accusations at Sam and Colby, but I think they've cracked it, which is bring in a third party. Who you can go, I don't know, I believe them.
You can't say I'm not leveling any accusations and immediately follow it up with an accusation.
You got to bring it.
Yeah, I'll go with you guys. I got it.
Come on the pod, Sam and Colby.
Well, we had that.
You should come on the pod.
Yeah,
this is an invitation.
This is a very good-natured beef.
Okay.
But I've got beefs with all other ghost hunters out there solely because not because I'm like, no, we're the best ghost hunters. But solely because I'm like, you're lying,
That's worse. That's worse. It's worse. It's clearly worse.
So let me say, I think you're lying.
Did your lawyer tell you to say it that way?
Dude, I have been told that you can't repeat things 3 times. Otherwise, I'm going to get mad at you.
It would be good to have them on here to talk about it.
Because realistically, it's going to be hard to go on a ghost hunt with other ghost hunters. First off, we got our different styles, right? We have the way we run our shop.
I honestly think that is a gauntlet that we can throw down. The Ghost Files challenge is if you claim to be legitimate ghost hunters who are getting the sensational evidence,
come with us.
You come with us.
That is true.
Because I tell you what, no one's going to do it.
No, because if they can replicate that with us around, Because I do feel like we run a pretty tight, clean,
We do.
fair ship.
Yes.
And not to say that other people don't, but if they came with us and they get some crazy stuff,
Sloppy ships.
then maybe I'll have to
Loose,
admit that I'm not as
sloppy,
good as I think I am.
Loose ships.
You all are going to have to watch a cut of this episode.
That's fine.
I need you to prove everything you're saying.
But I
later.
I think it might actually make more sense for folks to just come on the pod because it's going to be easier.
Yeah. But then they need to come on a ghost hunt with us and prove.
Look, man, if they want to come on a ghost hunt, great.
You know, people have been asking for that too. Like, and I read the comments too. I'm like, people want you to go with Sam and Colby and the other ghost hunters out there to show that their evidence.
My
is
only
real.
concern is like Ryan is the most tolerable ghost hunter I know.
You're a ghost hunter
You're
too.
also a ghost hunter.
So
yeah,
it
well,
includes
I
you.
said that I know.
Okay.
So, I'm probably insufferable to other ghost hunters, but
That's probably true.
for sure.
but I can't.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that I could stomach a lot of them. Like the reactions of people being like, "Oh, like I lived with that version of Ryan for a couple seasons of early Unsolved, and it was always pretty funny. But then he, grew a backbone and put on his big boy pants and became an adult.
Here's the thing. I just realized now if we were to do something like this, let's just use Sam and Colby as an example. If they were to come on a ghost hunt with us, it's going to put me in a very bad situation, which I've been in before.
Yeah, because you're going to have to apologize for me.
Exactly. So oftentimes when we go to a haunted location and we will talk to some sort of site rep or people who work there, they will tell stories and they will just beeline to me. And because they know I'm willing to listen, and Shane will literally just walk away. He'll just like go and just kind of like fuck off. And me, I'm just sitting here just like absorbing it all. And then if Shane comes back, he's always not going to have anything nice to say. So I kind of have to be like, you don't have to like.
I want to be clear though. I chat with a lot of the people at the locations and I do toe the line. I usually chat with and I usually give them
until it gets to a certain level, and
Well,
then
no.
you've got an expert at kind of.
Well,
just
when
like,
they start drilling down and they don't let you talk for 40 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing for me here. But I usually open up with the sort of like self-effacing. I'm like, I'm no fun. I'm a skeptic.
that's true. He does say,
Um,
and then he does it.
but then when they tell stories about like something that happened, I'm always like, well, that's crazy. Like, and I'll chat with them.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
connect with people. I'm not just like, I think you're fucking stupid and I don't believe in
No,
anything
that's true. He
you're telling me."
doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But he knows that the better person to field those questions, someone who's actually interested in what they're saying.
It kind of depends. If a person is interested in having like an open conversation and not just being like, I love to chat with people.
Yeah.
But if it is someone who's just like, I have 45 minutes of ghost stories to tell you, I'm like, all right, passing the bag on this one to Ryan, and I'm going to go eat some Fritos.
Because you and I have an open dialogue. We're like, all right, fair point there.
Right. Yeah.
But like most people are very much dug their heels into the sand kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we were to go on a ghost hunt for, any other ghost hunters, I would be this middle membrane man most of the shoot, where I would have to just be like, well, there might be something here. And then if Shane was like, clearly a draft, I'd be like, there is a fucking window. I'd have to like be constantly.
That's okay though.
You want to come ghost hunting with us? Consider this an invitation, Sam and Colby. Which is,
But be careful.
Well, what if they say we have to do it on our turf though?
We'll be watching.
We got to do it on their channel.
Whatever.
I think it'd be fun to watch one video where your editors edit everything you're in and their editors everything.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
or just cut back and forth and their editors edit theirs.
Yes.
That would break the internet. It's never happening, but it would.
It would
But
never
then if they
happen.
like sensationalized ours, then it would speak to like,
No, I'm saying they edit their
version
POV.
of the same hunt,
When we cut to them,
I see
it's
what
their
you mean. Yeah,
editors.
Yeah.
and then we
I can
have
see.
our version, which is
Well, it'd be like Rashomon.
so
Talking
this
about-
was kind of a combative episode. We called out. We put out the gauntlet for other ghost hunters.
It wasn't a gauntlet. It was an invitation.
For all
He said
ghost hunters.
gauntlet.
He said gauntlet
Oh.
I fucking said it.
because it is crazy.
What's crazy, Ryan? What's
Without-
crazy?
Naming any names. This is just goes for any other ghost hunting videos I've seen on YouTube. The stuff you see in some of them. I've been out there. I think we've gotten some pretty compelling evidence.
We've been out in a lot of places.
And some of the stuff, I'm a little skeptical. And it happens very consistently. So you would think that if they were to come with us and they replicate those results, maybe we just hang it up. Maybe it's like we're not the best ghost
That's
hunters.
what we find out. Ghosts are real, and,
And
we're
we're
just
just
really
bad. That would be the
Well, it's
funniest.
been an illuminating experience.
Wow, it turns out we are bad at this, and you guys are all really good, and that might be the case.
No, for all
As I
the,
stand now, I do think we're the greatest.
I honestly
ghost
think
hunters
for
ever.
all the goofs we have, I've said this before, but for all the goofs we do out there, we're very thorough. We spend a lot of time
we are very thorough.
in dead silence and, doing
That's
whatever
true.
other bullshit we have to do.
Not bullshit.
So
Their techniques.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
I would love it.
I would argue that the technology is not caught up yet to be able to find ghosts.
Well, if
So-
you take a picture and you see a
Right.
ghost,
Yeah.
which is
anyway,
Ryan, how would you feel if, there's the guy Dick Halloran in The Shining who tells the kid, some people shine.
yeah.
How would you feel if there was a similar guy that said, you don't have it?
That would make sense.
Would that change your
Well,
life?
because the thing is,
What about when you fell in that pile of bricks?
I did fall into that pile
That
of
gave you the
bricks.
vision
It gave me the vision. Ever since then,
What if you did something else since then that
that took
dulled
away the
it?
vision.
Oh,
Well,
What
the
is
thing
when you shit your pants in Thailand that one time?
that was in Singapore.
Sorry, Singapore.
And I do think that turd could have been enough to bring me to a different realm.
Because it got in your socks, right?
It
oh
got-
my gosh.
ran down my
I don't want to
leg.
hear the story. No, people do not want to hear about.
It filled up my
Shit out
Nike
the vision.
Frees, which I
No.
had to discard after that. There was nothing free about those shoes after. They
Yeah.
were fools.
We almost made it the entire
yeah,
episode.
this is my fault.
The thing is, I think the way we investigate in Ghost Files and Unsolved, that indicates that we do not have The Shining in the sense that we're not like sitting there like, I feel a presence in this room. Like we're trying to use tools that you could capture a picture or a voice on audio or having them move something on camera. And, I if we had The Shining, we could just walk in there and use ourselves. But I've never pretended I have The Shining. Shane always likes to joke I have The Shining, but I do not have
No,
The
you
Shining.
don't. It is a joke.
And
You
it's
don't.
only been a couple places that I've actually been where I've said out loud, it does kind of feel like we're being watched. Or I feel like a certain kind of goosebumps. Because for the most part, we're kind of just doing our investigation and then fucking around.
What if that's just like a primitive sort of primordial sense?
Yeah. It's
You're
like
in a
that,
dark space.
that test I always talk about where they had that person sit in a chair and the study was like, once they'll ask them, is somebody looking at you right now? And there will be somebody in another room through glass, either looking at them or not looking at them. And the accuracy rate was pretty high.
I feel like you mentioned this before, and someone in the comments was like, "Ryan is wrong about that."
Am I wrong about that?
I don't
Ooh,
know.
We should get into it on
We should
another
get-
episode.
On another
We should get into it.
episode. Very good.
Maybe next week.
I didn't tell my cockroach story this week. I forgot.
Oh, that was the
shit.
story. Well, we'll hear it next week.
We'll just keep kicking this one down the road.
Yeah.
Kick the cockroach.
Keep it hiding.
Kick roach.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Podwatcher. As I said up top, make sure that you like and subscribe if you're watching this over on youtube.com/watcherpodcast, or if you're listening to the audio version, go ahead and subscribe to it and rate this bad boy 5 stars. It really does help us keep making this. And let Sam and Colby know that we've thrown out the beacon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.